Hey, it's Mario here, and in this quick video I decided to share with you guys my biggest doubt from getting it down to 10% body fat. And this is something that I've experienced on my own journey, and I see this happen to all my clients on that journey to 10% body fat, which is kind of the first milestone for us guys where we can really see our six-pack. And on that journey, let's say you're somewhere at 16 to 18% body fat like I was and getting down to 10% body fat, there's a lot of doubts on the way. I think this is one of the biggest ones that I've experienced myself, and you probably heard some guys talk about it, maybe you did it as well, and that is the doubt that you're losing size on a diet, that you're losing muscle. And that's a big issue because when you start a diet, what really happens is that, let's say you calculate your calories, you calculate your macros, everything is on point, and you enter that caloric deficit for a couple of weeks, but you don't see the reduction of fat. You actually see that you're just reducing size and it feels like you're losing muscle, but the fat is just staying the same. What's really happening in that process is that you're basically losing intramuscular triglycerides. So your body is burning that fat stored in your muscle. So if you, let's say, look at a steak, you see that marble in the steak, that's kind of how your muscle looks as well, because there's fat inside of the muscle as well, and that fat also gets burnt as you're in that caloric deficit. And most guys don't realize that they are just looking at the fat in the abdominal area. That's the same thing I did. I was looking at the abdominal area fat, and for like a month or two, I saw no progress whatsoever, right? The weight is going down, I'm lifting heavy in the gym, everything is happening, but the fat is just not going away. And I was paranoid. I was thinking, what the hell is wrong here? Maybe I'm eating different types of foods that I should. I had no idea about science back then. I had no idea what was happening. While in reality, what was really happening is that I was burning fat. I was losing fat, but just not from that area, because as we know, fat is coming up from the back, from the shoulders, from the calves, but we can't see our back. We don't look at our calves. We don't look at what's happening in the overall picture because we're so focused on the abdominal area. And in general, we're so focused on our size that, by losing some fat, you will lose some size as well. Fat adds to size. And additionally, as I mentioned, that thing with intramuscular triglycerides being burnt off as well, which directly reduces the size of your muscles. So for the first couple of weeks on a diet, you might feel like your muscles are just being less and less tight, your fat is just being more and more visible, and that's completely normal. And I just wanted to say that if you've set up your diet properly, if you're getting an adequate amount of protein, so 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight, plus you're getting a decent amount of calories. You're in a caloric deficit, but you're not going super aggressive. Even if you are going super aggressive, the research says, if you're lifting heavy weights, if you're basically getting in your protein, it's really unlikely that you're gonna lose that much muscle, right? It just doesn't happen that frequently. But losing muscle and losing size are two completely different things. Like someone cuts down carbs, like really hardcore, cuts down all the calories as well that they have from carbs. At the same time, they're in a big deficit of calories. Maybe they're starting to mess with their water intake. They will lose a bunch of size because you will lose your glycogen storage. At the same time, intramuscular triglycerides will be burnt off, and you're just gonna look a lot smaller in the beginning without necessarily having that much fat burnt off your abdominal area. And this, all the doubts start like this. They're like, often, what I thought was like, oh shit, I need to go on a mini bulk for a couple of weeks. I need to bulk for 3-4 weeks to kind of regain my muscle because I lost all the size. Then I'm gonna cut again. And this really leads to poor choices. And we often make these choices where we don't really commit to the cut. We don't really commit to the caloric deficit because it takes a long time for us to actually get momentum to start losing fat properly and for our body to get into that mode of really fat burning. And by the time you're gonna see your abdominal muscles, it's gonna take a while. So for the first couple of months, you might not even see any difference in the abdominal area. It's gonna take a while for you to notice that first row of abs like coming out, maybe the second and the third is gonna take a shit ton of time. So be prepared for that. Expect that to happen. Make sure that the numbers are correct. Make sure that the weight is going down, or basically if the weight is staying the same, just make sure that your body composition is improving, at least in the mirror, right? It doesn't have to be all the numbers, but it has to be something that you can see progress. If that's not happening, you might have basically miscalculated your calories, so you might need to go down with calories. But again, with that, make sure that you test that caloric intake for a couple of weeks before you quote unquote freak out like I used to do. It's like, okay, I didn't lose weight this week, time to cut calories, add a ton of cardio, change all the foods that I'm eating and all these things. And at the end, I would make a lot of mistakes because I was not patient enough to actually see if the method that I am doing is working. So And just a quick tip here, this is a big doubt that I had when I was dieting down to 10% body fat for the first time, losing that size, which I worked really hard to build up, and that's something that definitely is something I see with a lot of clients as well. I'm sure that this video will be helpful for a lot of you guys. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below. Have any questions? As usual, make sure to hit that subscribe button below to support the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.